There are 5 letters in the Hebrew alphabet which look different if you write them at the end of a word. They are the so-called Kimmenapetz letters: Kaf, Mem, Nun, Pei, and Sade. So let's see what each of them looks like. You remember the kaf, which comes in 2 forms, kaf with a dot and kaf without a dot. We're not at all interested in the dot at this stage, just the shape of the letter, so ignore the dot. The shape that you can see here is the shape if you're writing a kaf at the beginning of a word or in the middle of a word. If you're writing it at the end of a word, then you use the final form, which, as you can see, has a long tail that goes down below the line, as it were, although Hebrew is typically or historically written hanging from a line, actually. But nonetheless, we can think of it as descending below a line. So here's an example. The word kach. Again, ignore the various dots there for now. This word is a post-biblical word, means thus or in this manner, and it kach just consists of 2 kafs, and you can see that the first kaf is written in what we now think of as the usual way, whereas the second kaf is a so-called final kaf, or kaf sofit, you will often hear as well. So kach with the medial form or the ordinary form and the final form. Mem, just the one form of the mem, no dots included here. But if you're writing a mem at the end of a word, and only at the end of a word, then it has this square shape instead. So if I pop a yod in between, I can make the word mayim, water, mayim. And you can see the mem at the beginning of the word looks like our normal form, and the mem written at the end of the word, because it is at the end of the word, has the so-called final form. Nun. There is our ordinary nun for use at the beginning of a word or in the middle of a word. And that is what it looks like at the end of a word. It's as though its base has sort of rotated anti-clockwise by 90 degrees and now hangs down below the line. Again, if I put a yod in, I can make the word nin, which is a great grandson, nin, containing an ordinary nun and a final nun. Pei, again, has 2 forms, with the dot and without, but remember we're not interested in the dots at this stage. This is our pei when it occurs at the beginning of a word or in the middle of a word. If it occurs at the end of the word, then again its base curls down and goes below the line, and there is our pei sofit, our final pei. So here, for example, is the word ofef. The verb ofef means to fly. You can see that in the middle of the word there is a pei written in its what we will think of as normal form, and then at the end of the word there is another pei written using the final form, ofef, to fly. And lastly, the consonant tzade again does the folding down its base trick so that the final form of tzade goes down below the line. And there is the lovely biblical Hebrew word tzitz, which can mean a blossom or a bud, or also part of the high priest's special attire. The tzitz is a sort of plate which was on his headdress. So there we go. The 5 letters of the Hebrew alphabet that have distinct final forms, the so-called final forms or the sofit forms: Kamenapetz,